How you guys doing? NC Media. We're going to go over this mini music studio. It was supposed to be made for phones and devices, but it became way too resource heavy, so I didn't want it to go to waste. I'm uploading it as a game to the arcade and hopefully going to make a quick HTML5 game out of it. So let's go over this quickly. We have a sequencer here, a mixer. This takes care of your pitch. This takes care of your volume. These pads change your first two sounds. We'll go over those in a moment. Piano and guitar volume, and more space left for future stuff. The sequencer, which is really quick, 1 bar looped, or you press this, you now have 2 bars to work with. Drum pads with 2 banks, more to come, maybe. A timeline to work with so you can actually record what you trigger. And then the same goes for your piano, which is 2 octaves deep, and it's got its own timeline to record on, and a guitar, which also has its own timeline, and 14 preset chords, all your majors and minors here, which are all recordable. So let's make something really quickly. Alright, so the first thing I'll go over is the sequencer. Because I'm recording my microphone and the computer itself and video, this isn't going to loop properly or be timed properly because there'll be a lag, unfortunately. But nonetheless, you don't hear what the sounds are until you trigger them like this. So you guys can go through all these sounds after. I just want to illustrate really quickly what this does. This isn't an actual BPM. It's just a loose indicator for us to give us let us know where we're at as far as our speed goes. So it's going to start slow, and it's a little hip hop beat. Speed it up a little bit. Too bad there's that lag, but it's not bad. It's not too bad. So now what we can do is go back into the mixer, and this is our pitch. This is our volume of these 10. So 1 through 10 represent 1 through 10. So I can take the pitch of that kick or the snare or the hi-hat down. Let's see how that sounds with bringing it down. Sounding so cheesy because of that delay, but really cool little effects that you can do with it while changing up the pitch and stuff. And then what else we do is these 4 pads here represent just the first 2, kick and snare. So you have 4 different kick and snare options to choose from for your lead, for your beat. Okay, so that's your sequencer. You can click this guy here, it'll give you a second half, so you can keep going. Alright, we'll finish up with the sequencer. We'll move on to something else here so that this doesn't take too long. But from here on out, you guys can just change this up and get creative with your patterns, your timing. Creating house is not that different. Just change up the orientation of your beats, and you should be able to achieve half-decent house. We'll do a really quick example here, and then slow it down so it's not too crazy. Too fast. But anyway, you get the idea. You change up the patterns, sync up your timing to a genre you like, and you can achieve beats with this little sequencer pretty easily. Alright, let's move into the drum machine here. So with the drum machine, clearing out the sequencer totally, just go into the drum machine fresh. You have sounds when you press on these pads, and you have 2 banks to work with. Okay, and you can loosely play around with it, just make up little beats, and then once you're happy with whatever you got going, press on record, count to yourself 1, 2, 3, and play it back for yourself, see what your timing is like. You might want to redo it, but this is a very easy way to That sounded totally cheesy, but I'm sure you guys can do a better job with your pattern structures and whatnot. I just want to illustrate quickly what you can do. And then here with these two sets of arrows, these are your loop points. So if I just want to loop that little beginning bit, I can easily just go like that. You have two full lines to work with, so this will take a while to rewind all the way to the beginning, but you can loop any part of the timeline for yourself. So if you have something hot in there, you just want to loop a little bit of it, you easily can. And then once that's set to where you want it, you'll notice it jumps back to the beginning. Turn the record off now. You see it's right at the beginning there, so that beginning node can be moved closer to. And then once you press this, it'll go right back to where it should be in the middle of that thing. All right, so that loop's not too great, but I'll let you guys go and make your perfect loops. I want to keep going with the video. We'll move on to the piano from here. Okay, with the piano, it's a simple 2-octave piano. And the loop points work the same as with the pads. Just move this out a little bit. Count to yourself to 4 and just lay something. Or if you already have your sequencer or your beat going, then you'll overlay this as a secondary, third, fourth layer, however many layers of stuff you got going on there. 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, and we can do the same thing. Move these beginning and end loop nodes so that it loops. And then you can record over yourself too. So if you want to keep going, I'm not the greatest piano player, but I'll let you guys make up your cool little riffs, and again, have a cool little visual of what's being laid where. And then if you want to delete something, that's something I should have gone over already, but if you want to delete just a little portion of it, turn your record back on, and then just press the X at whatever parts you screwed up on or want to redo. And you'll notice it starts eating up your notes. Okay. If you don't like it at all, want to redo it totally, just press this guy up here. It clears all of them. Okay, and last but not least, we'll go over to the guitar. The guitar is really cool because what you can do is lay your notes first, or lay a whole bunch of stringing first, and then add your chords after, or try to lay them on time as you're adding them as you need them. So same thing, record on, go back to the beginning, count to yourself, 1, 2, 3, and... And then it'll loop for you too. And you can set your loop points to be whatever you want it to be. Okay, and then just to illustrate what I meant by laying a whole bunch of stringing first, here's what I mean. Move this back a little more now. And we'll go. Okay, and it didn't sound good at all, but I didn't want it to. I just wanted to lay all the strings, and now I can go back to the beginning and record the chord changes. So we'll go. see all the little full out lines that represent the chord changes. And same thing, press on the X as it's playing to start eating up the notes and the chord changes, or press on this guy and it gets rid of everything. You can start over. Alright, there you have it. Once you guys get familiar with it and start learning how to put everything together, you have your sequencer going along with some drums, along with some piano, along with some guitar. If you're a musically inclined person, you can very easily get wicked compositions out of this thing. So there you have it. Mini Music Studio, available on the GameSalad arcade. Peace out.